Rhonda's lovely sparks. Yes. Yes, Mike Aldana, shout out to you. There is a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. I think mostly positivity. Yeah, it's a lot. I've been sleeping most of the day because my grandson was here.
You're a busy mom like me. Book a spring cleaning for only.
And so he was in the bed, we were in the bed sleeping, and we play games, and I give him one-on-one attention when it comes to with him playing games and interaction, and he wants to see Ryan, and he wants me to interact and watch, what he's watching. And that's why he loves our grandson, why he loves so much coming to our home, because of we're grandparents, and we grandparents, we're retired, and we have a lot of attention to give him, and a lot of attention at especially this age that he requires and that he needs. So welcome to Rhonda's lovely sparks. Hello, Mike. Shout out to you. How are you doing today, or tonight actually? It's 9:48 p.m. I hope my volumes are working. Let me give that a test. Testing.
Because
Yeah,
my
my mic is
grandson was
working.
here.
Good. I always put on backups. My cell phone over here, my tablets over here. Dealing with the rain. Yes, Mike Aldana says he's dealing with the rain. Well, where I'm at here in East Texas, we've been getting a lot of rain. And I have to admit, the rain is so needed here. It doesn't appear to be anything that's dangerous. You know how sometimes because when it's so dry, there are floods and things like that because it's dry, and it takes a while for, the water to soak in and things like that. So it causes these floods, causes backup. So we're very grateful out here in East Texas. All it takes is 1 month. August is not here yet. And then when August comes, it can get hot, and we could end up losing that rainfall percentage that we supposedly gain. It's just so off and on. But to be honest with you, from our position here, we're very lucky. We love the cooler temperatures. It's not cool. Don't get it twisted. It's not cool, but it's nice, and you really can't complain when, when hubby and I are so much into wildlife. I grew up on a farm. I managed a ranch, and so I can tell when it's so dry. It just, you could tell how it affects, living things around you. So for me, it's really good to see that, the wildlife gets its rain. So Mike Aldana says Kamala's getting a lot of traction with donors and her political allies. Not all of them, though. And then Lola Cowboys is in the house. Lola hot sauce. Lola hot sauce in the house. Yeah, I had to go on live. I was going to go to bed, but I said, all my devices are of course, fully charged. I haven't been live for, a while. Usually I try to go on every night. Sometimes that's hard. Grandson was here. I was with the grandbaby all day. It's Lola hot sauce in the house. And then I connected with all of my friends. My hubby went and got me a baked potato and some spicy chicken wings because, he didn't feel like cooking. And said, well, while he's out there, have him to pick me up something. He doesn't have to cook tonight. I don't want him to ever feel he has to cook. But it feels good when sometimes, you want to take some time off. And then when I wake up, I found out that I don't know if that was yesterday or today when I woke up, that hubby said Kamala is going to be running for president, Kamala Harris, and Biden. No, he first said Biden. Biden has dropped out, and Kamala is running. The first thing came to my mind is that I was excited. That was my live reaction. Totally, totally excited. And then Lola says, "Hey, Mike." And then Mike out there says, "Andre's cooking away." He really is. And I'm telling you, I want to continue to inspire him because, I'm 58 years old. And my whole life I have cooked. I'm not complaining. It was just how it is. And my hubby and I have been, together, 14, 15 years. And so he's cooking a lot now. And I really didn't know when we were first together that, he would tell me how he liked cookbooks and how he was trying some new things. But before we met, he was also a working man, and he was at a time where he wasn't at that time able to really be in the full spirit of cooking. Like retired and just, can focus on certain things and. So he started really getting into it, and I just want to continue to inspire that. Not only because I love his cooking and because I don't want to cook, but also because it does something for him. He is so excited about life, even though he was excited before. But you know how you can tell when you're with somebody how there's that extra thing? That's something about them, that spark that I always talk about, that really makes somebody shine. Like for example, Mark tonight. He was just a glowing. Mark was glowing. We can tell when we as content creators, we have the camera in our face, the mic is in our face. Before I came live on YouTube, I was out there in the public a lot. I did a lot of public speaking. I did a lot of that in, the mic in my face, cameras in my face. And even though you can say, well, I like it, I could be good at it, at the same time, it gets exhausting. Anybody that does something, a lot of it, it just gets exhausting. You just want to find your way in life where you can just enjoy doing what you want, not doing what you're paid to do, not doing what you have to do, not doing what I'm looking at my little backdrop, make sure everything looks good. You know what I'm saying? It took me my whole life basically to get to this place where I can possibly feel good for doing things that I want to do, not that I have to do. And that is something that not everybody has the luxury of doing. Eric Wallace, what's up? What's up? What's up, Eric Wallace? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey! Hey! But I was looking up something today that brought me here. There's a lot of things, but also looking up the definition of muse. Because I've used it a lot, being a writer, being a poet. And muse says a person or personified force who is the source of inspiration for a creative artist. Okay, so I was using it right. We are, in a lot of ways, each other's muse. And you all can carry on with what topic you want to talk about. I always tell you all, I'll follow your lead, okay? So I'm just chatting, so I'll follow your lead. I always do that. And again, welcome to Mike, Aldana, Lola, and Eric Wallace. Thank you for being here. You can see when someone enters a room how it makes me feel. And what I was hearing Mark say today in his live chat, he was like, said, "Wow, I'm just full of sunshine. Come to my chat room, and Rhonda's lovely sparks is full of sunshine." And that made me feel good because it's not like I'm trying to be sunshine. I think it's just how you all make me feel. I feel really happy. You know, I feel really excited because I understand the value and the process it takes for a person to see your name, click into it, and go through those things to really find themselves or find their way to you. And that's really honestly an effort made. And so when I see that, I think it's heavenly. And I'm excited. You know, hey, 3 people, I mean, I look at it as if I am in my living room, and let's say in my small apartment, I have 3 guests. That's enough to have such a great party, right? You don't have to have 1 million in a room. You ever been to an event where it's like 2 million in a room and you don't know anybody else in there? That I'd rather be in a room with people I know. And every once in a while, if someone enters the door and they come in, I like to greet them with being genuine, with being sincere. I want to remember that person that comes to the room, right? So it feels great. And I know that when I saw Mark and how excited he was tonight in his chat room, he had his family there and he was excited. And he mentioned Michael Anthony Fitness, his son. Obviously, something is going on where his son is around him more. You know, we love our kids. You know, we love our significant others. We love certain people that enters that room, right? The ones who are basically, they're moderators mostly. But honestly, we just know those names who are not moderators too, that mean near and dear to us. You know who you are. You know, like Lola when she comes into the room, Mike Aldana, Cal Yodi, Eastside Harold, all of those names, you know, Gina Thorne, Roland's Reviews. Those people, those names, and it's so much more. That's why I don't like just naming a few because I'm going to forget some. And not that I forgot, it's just a lot of names, right? That's family. And that has an effect on especially someone like me who is, hi, Coyote. Hi, Coyote. See how excited I am? Because I and we don't forget during what we were going through, how you have helped us. That's never forgotten. That's not forgotten. So we get happy. You are my muse. You are my muse. So Eric Wallace says, we are doing great here, so to speak. The other day in the afternoon, I had a Mara bus accident Friday. We hit a neighbor's car Friday night. Mama fell. She's okay. Oh, wait a minute, Eric. We are doing great here, so to speak. The other day in the afternoon, I had a minor bus accident. Friday, and we hit a neighbor's car. I'm glad Mama's okay. I'm glad you're doing okay. I feel bad that you were in an accident, but I'm just glad you're okay. Things happen all the time, don't they? They do. They happen anything can happen. Anything. The anxiety is always around us. Anything's possible. So I'm glad you're okay, Eric. That's scary. I'm just glad your mother is okay. I'm glad you're okay. Just sorry to hear about this accident. I don't hardly drive ever again. I really don't miss it. I'm a licensed everything. I just don't miss it. I was driving since I was 9 years old, and it was fun, and then all of a sudden it just became a chore. And I'm just so glad my husband loves driving. He's a retired tour bus driver for over 30 years, and he loves it. And he goes out, and he'll go out once or twice a day, every day, and do something. He needs to get something for his recipe. And then I saw Mike Aldana said, Chef Andre. Yes, yes, yes. And then Eric Wallace says, what a wild day that was. Yeah, that's wild. That's hectic. It's so hectic out there. My daughter made it back from Dallas and she said, Mama, she had so much stuff she was going through. This is my daughter with my who has my grandbabies, right? And she said she was coming from Dallas, coming back to East Texas, and there was an accident in the highway, right? But anyway, she wasn't involved, but she had to wait 3 hours in traffic. Traffic was held back 3 hours. And usually when you hear that, it's something awful, right? So she pulls up and she sees what she thinks had happened, and obviously, there was something that was, very unfortunate. And and then she had her car broke down, and in Dallas, and she had to do this, and she had to get a friend to come when they were coming to East Texas. They drove her car back down, and then she had to go to her car in the shop, and then da da da. And then we had today we had an inspection that came in. My husband, our apartment today, and they said something about anything that's 3 inches, 6 inches too close to the fire, the water. If you can see above me, there's my painting. See the fire, the water sprinkler system? I had to take that down. The good thing is management said, Rhonda, take the picture down, take these things down. That's too close to it, and I could put it back up after August 9. So, okay. I'm okay with that. I had anxiety. And it might seem like nothing, right? But I believe some of my anxiety comes from when I was homeless. This was 20-something years ago. I don't know if the homeless experience got me that bad. I think what got me was losing everything and then became homeless, right? Losing my car, losing the job, losing my car, losing my house. It was like a domino effect. In a country town, you just can't find a good job. And I maxed my highest potential in a small town. So I had to uproot and go to the city, a no man's land, a country girl my whole life, and go in a place I knew nothing about. So I worked through self-sufficient programs, through the homelessness qualification, and utilized those resources that helped me become self-sufficient, right? I think the anxiety that came from while I was losing things. And I've always had 2 jobs, and I always told you all that I've been a workaholic. And there's a method to my madness, right? And what that means, reason why I was a workaholic, I always wanted 2 or 3 jobs because I didn't ever want to be homeless again. And so the feeling of someone coming into your home, looking around, I understand the business part of it. And I'm not against the inspections. It happens like twice a year, but it's okay. It comes with renting. And me being a woman of administration, East Side Herald, what's up, East Side, what's up? Yes, East Side has made it to Rhonda's lovely sparks. It's just that feeling that maybe something can be taken away from you. You know what I'm saying? That if someone comes into your space and it feels like sometimes someone can write you up, or they got the pen and paper and they're walking around, and sometimes it feels like the teacher's grading you. It just gives you this anxiety. But found out, I knew this when I worked in a business office, that when we had inspections to come in the office, that was my thing. Being an admin, I took them around and they would say, well, they can't have anything there has to be 6 inches from the roof. It can't be touching the ceiling. And so I understood that about them coming in today. So everything was fine. Everything was fine. It's fixable. I had that big mirror over there. I just have to take down. The lady said, take it down, put it away, and until the fire inspection comes in. Guess what? I know that's protocol. I know that's what you have to do. I know it's for our safety. It is for the good for us. But I know with me how it makes me feel. Not that I'm anxiety like shaking or something, but there's a, that. The fear. And I have been working on that. I have. And I just wonder sometimes if that's just human. So last night I had an area on my wall where the cats have used to, when they have anxiety, they climb up and they've messed up my vertical wall. So it's just a little 4 inches by, the floor and the height of the floor, the wall length. The space is 4 inches wide where they have this habit of doing that. So I know how to, last night I sanded it down, and got my baking soda and my paint and I mixed a color that looks very close to the wall color we have. And I just filled in those holes and just painted, dried in like a few minutes and done. I think what it is, and it's speaking about anxiety, is the idea of being put in a place of having to do something that someone else is requiring you to do, like a boss, a manager, a supervisor. And I think that's the anxiety that comes from my whole life, being a workaholic, a past workaholic, had really bad management. There was discrimination, there was unfairness and inequalities. I made it work. I worked there at that company for 15 years. I made it work. But it still doesn't erase all those things that a person has to overcome while you have a job. Because you're dealing with difficult people. You're dealing with different personalities. And the only excuse that my boss would have is that, it takes different personalities to run a successful company. Instead of addressing issues that were transparently unfair. And then I had to learn what you would call managing sideways and managing upwards. And I don't know if you all have heard that before, but it's a different technique where you remove yourself out of that situation as an employee and you put yourself as your own manager, as this person that you have control over. And it works on your anxiety because it's something you got to deal with, right? Got to have a job, got to pay the bills. Yeah, you can probably find another job, but who really wants to go through the stress of starting over and go to a new environment, a new culture, new issues, a new place, a new job to learn? Some people just want just to clock in, do a great job, and just go home, right? Just go home. It's sometimes people go, well, I know this mess that I'm in. Why not just stay in this mess, manage it, right? And then you're okay because you understand your environment. So that's my things that I've been going through for the last couple of days. Is because we got a letter that someone's coming in for inspection. It's anything new. It's something that happens common. We're in compliant. We live there's some clutter here and there. It's not perfect, but we live a clean lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing we have to hide. But the thing that kind of gets me is that I have my beautiful painting I have to take down. I have to take down my mirror. But while I'm doing that, I'm understanding that it has to be away from the water sprinklers. It's not like harassment. They're not trying to bully me. It's just procedure. And maybe the water sprinklers are put in the wrong place. Maybe they shouldn't put water sprinklers in the middle of something where you're going to probably put a picture. But that's something I can't control. So how do I deal with that? So with this conversation, where am I going with it? Well, I'm also going with the idea of dealing with anxiety in chat rooms. And I had a piece of it. Even though I felt confident, I love seeing the people that I knew there. Just me seeing a couple people I did not know. And I believe what really bothered me more than anything, and I'm just going to be honest with you, was Twiz Digger. And you're saying, Rhonda, why are you letting that bother you? You're giving him too much power. I'm not giving him too much power. He's a woods to me. He's just a funny person, and I really don't give him any power. But what bothered me is that I remember 6 months ago, maybe longer, 7, 8, 9 months ago, that he went out and lied a lot on me. He just went on a lying tour, right? Now, we could write it off and we can go, well, it's just the internet. It's just chat. We can block him. We can. But still, it doesn't take away from the fact that someone can lie on you and get this sympathy, not from Mark and not from, people that are cool, but just how they manipulate a situation. Just like I was talking about anxiety in my job and how it still affects my life in a way. And then all of a sudden I find out, my God, why in the last 2 freaking days I'm having some very bad dreams? What in the world? My dream seems to be veering around a lot of anxiety, like something that gives me anxiety, and it doesn't really make me feel that I'm getting quality rest. And then every time I wake up from this dream, I'm like, thank God it was a dream. I'm living a great life. I'm living a great life. Thank God it was a dream. But a lot of my dreams, something is happening. Whether it's something with family, I get those feelings. My daughter, something's happening. Even though I feel I'm okay. It's not like I was years ago where I get really shaky and scared because I didn't feel that secure. I didn't feel financially balanced. Now I feel more secure. I feel more financially balanced. So that helps a lot too when you can get financially secure. I haven't watched a whole lot of news, but Mike Aldana was knocking on my door. And he always has a way to inspire me to jump out from behind, get out front and go, guess what? Friendly politics. We talked about Trump and the assassination attempt. We talked about the truth. How in the world can Rhonda Lovely Sparks ever have a live and can't talk about trending topics? And those trending topics include especially one of the most important things that's going on in our year, going on in our life right now, whether we like it or not, is politics. It's politics every day. It's all day. Biden has dropped out. Kamala Harris is in. My husband told me that she raised over $100 million in a certain amount of hours. And sometimes I look at the news, it's kind of like 80-something million. Then I'm hearing the story, and you all can chime in too. I'm hearing that how they got together and making this decision. Of course, we heard that Joe Biden got COVID, and they said that they did like some kind of face-to-face meeting through the internet, whatever that you call it. And they said over 4,000 something people were involved in this call, where they all had a discussion on the internet, discussing what will be. This is Democrats, because we've been talking about Republicans for 3 weeks. This is the first time I'm talking about Democrat. Because I don't want anybody in the cut out there going, oh my God, she's a liberal, she's a snowflake, blah, 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 blah. We have friendly politics here. People can type and put in Trump 2024, and they can put in Biden. Well, it's not Biden 2024, it's Kamala. Possibly somebody else, we don't know. But it has shaken the world. Because I believe, even though the media and everybody seems and appears to be on it, Still, it seems like people still get knocked off their square. It's like, what? I mean, we know if anything happens to Biden that Kamala is vice president, that she will be the president. We know that she qualifies, whether people want to call her names or not. She has a resume. Coyote says, I'm still trying to figure out what is going on completely. Where is Biden? So Biden is, I can't remember where they call it, but it's where he's resting because Biden has COVID. He is at a place where he has to be by himself. He can't be around people. That's how COVID is. You have to alienate yourself. You got to separate. And that's where he's at. So he's still doing business on the phone. Doesn't seem like he has COVID so bad where he's bedridden. And that's what can happen. Las Vegas hospital. I didn't hear about that. Did you hear that? I heard that he's out. Did you hear something recently? Because you know, I have to get the juice here from you all because I don't watch news continuously. I thought he was, what's it called? Camp David? I thought he was at Camp David. So y'all tell me, you said Las Vegas hospital? I depend on you all, Coyote, because I'm not watching news the whole time. I played my grandson. I was off the grid, and I was with my grandbaby, giving him the attention he deserves. I don't know. Let me see. You said Las Vegas hospital. How did that pop up? What made you say that? Is he back hospitalized? So I honestly don't really know. Okay, so I thought I heard today, I've been watching the news a little bit tonight, kind of off and on. I thought he was at Camp David resting because since he has COVID, of course, you know, when you have COVID, you can't be around anybody. He can't even be around his wife if she doesn't have it, you know. And sometimes they really don't tell us everything, you know, where the president is. So I don't know. I thought maybe I could Google something. I haven't seen Jill either. So yeah, that's what I heard so far. I've been watching it religiously, but I heard that. Of course, sometimes they don't disclose exactly where he's at. But what I did hear is that when Biden, they said dropped out, it's because they've been having discussions for quite some time. And Biden did say, but is that the reason he dropped out? No, that's not the reason why Joe Biden dropped out. So what I did hear is, you know, when Joe Biden had this interview with Lester Holt, he said, if people come visit him and there were the numbers that proved that him running for president is not going to benefit the party, he will. So what I heard, there was a meeting and there were several people that came up with some numbers, came up with some information to talk to Joe Biden about, and it showed whatever it was, it did prove that there were some other people that can run for office that could lead Democrats. I am a Democrat. That could lead Democrats to victory. That Joe Biden could not, because they were able to show numbers. So that's what I heard, that they went to wherever he's at. I don't know where he's at. Don't let me tell you wrong. I'm saying Camp David. I'm not sure. But they've been having these serious meetings. They've had also a meeting before they came up with a decision. It seemed like a pretty decent meeting. It seemed like everybody involved, people in Joe Biden's campaign, people who is running Joe Biden's campaign. Kamala Harris is going to transition them into her campaign. No one's going to lose their job. She knows these people. People are feeling, what I'm hearing people are feeling, the people, of course, when I used to help people run campaigns, I know how it feels when people lose. I know how it feels when my candidate wins. It's a god-awful feeling too when your candidate drops out. And so they're doing some healing. They're doing some working within that party to transition and make things work and let people know. Kamala had a speech today, live. And it sounds like Beyonce's song was in the background. My daughter came over to pick up her son, our grandson, and she stayed with us to watch it. I've always spoken about Republicans and the threat and what I saw as them being a threat, right? So now, since I've had 3 discussions, 3 long lives, probably longer than that, talking about Republicans, now this is the day to talk about Democrats. I've discussed about how Republicans is a threat. And in my opinion, if any of the Republicans weren't so extreme right, the ones who are MAGA, supported MAGA, if they come just a little bit centered, they will be probably the greatest threat ever. They just don't want to. And the reason why they don't want to, because they know that they have the numbers. Let me read this. So whoever gets the most delegates gets the presidential ticket. Yeah. So far they're saying Kamala, you have Biden endorsed her. You have Pelosi. So the endorsements are coming out. Democrats are seen to be uniting, coming together to run 100 and something days. So I talked about how Republicans, to me, in my opinion, is a threat. And people who are Republicans loved what I said. Not because I was trying to please them, it's just the truth. That there are a lot of Republicans sitting on the couch last election. That there are a lot of Republicans just didn't vote at all, or you had a lot of Republicans that kind of went to the middle, they went independent, or you had some Republicans that just were embarrassed, right? Coyote says, if there is no majority, then the superdelegates vote too. Right. That's why we have these conventions, Republican National Conventions. We have the Democrat National Convention that's coming up. We already had the RNC. Coyote is right. Coyote helps with enlightening and educating all of us about, pointing out those specifics that are facts. So Donald Trump is very, these people, they know what they're doing. We can get upset if we want and go, well, but these people, Republican or Democrat, they are taking the bullet for us Americans. It's the truth. I'm not trying to play favoritism. It's a fact. And they're dying young, younger and younger and younger. Sheila Jackson Lee, representative of Houston, Texas, a senator in Texas, passed away just a couple of days ago. I didn't even know that she had pancreatic cancer. Not that I needed to know, I just didn't know. And she was one of these people I just didn't see that happening to. And she's a great leader as far as I'm concerned. She's one of the last ones, that we have that's gone. The point I'm trying to make is these people who are who are in office, who are running for office, who are working for us, it's a horrible job. It's not fun. It's hard. You age 10, 20 years. Most likely, if you don't age, you'll get cancer, you'll die young. That's just how it works. We can easily complain, just like how you see Cowboy fans and Eagles fans and all these fans out there, 49er fans, Houston Texans fans. People complain quick because they're behind the keyboard and it's easy go. because people are confident by just being chatty with the keyboard. That's the nature. It's not going to change. It's the culture, and it's not changing. And what does that have to do with politics? Where politics today, it's hard. I mean, you can't tell me that this decision was just made today. I feel the decision was made a long time ago with Biden dropping out. I think it was just being strategic as to when to announce it and how. Ooh, there's those little brains just a clicking and a clicking and a clacking. Yeah, we got something moving now. You can't tell me that these people, because I've been an administrator my whole life to powerful people. I'm just saying, I haven't shared with you everybody I work for because it's confidential, but that means I have an eye and an ear for things, right? I mean, when you're administrative assistant, you're basically doing their work. You're just not signing off on it. So you can't tell me that he just found out today. No, I don't believe that. I believe there's a method to everything. There's a method to the madness. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying you got to be smart. It is a game. That you have to be smart. You do have to be strategic. You just can't be out there flying off by the mouth. Trump, he does it. It works for him. He's the one that turned out Twitter. Who would ever thought a president can run his presidency through tweeting? Found out you can, because he's made the media go work his way and follow him. So whether we like it or not, we have to upgrade. Some of us have grandkids, some of us have children, nieces, right? We older folks, we have to upgrade how we communicate with them. Sometimes we can't expect a phone call on birthday. Sometimes they'll just chat it. They'll send it through an instant message. They'll send it through the cell phone. They'll send it. The point I'm trying to make is that communication today. If we have 100, Democrats have 100-something days to run, it's not going to be hard. Money's in the bank. Biden did his protest and marched with the union workers. He raised a lot of money. He had a lot of money in the bank. It's transferred over to Kamala. Kamala raised, what I heard from my husband, said over $100 million in 24 hours. $100 million. Not 100,000. $100 million in 24 hours is why Biden dropped out, why Biden is out, and Kamala is in. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? So Coyote says, yes, there's a precedent. Kennedy is mad. Which Kennedy? Kennedys are divided. Because a lot of people think that the Kennedy is running for office is the true blue blood Kennedys. He's not. The Kennedy that's running for office is not a blue-blooded liberal. Kennedy family don't like him. When people see Kennedy, they automatically think of the old heads, right? The old Kennedys back in the, selling whiskey and the prohibition, Coyote says that and the donors threatened the funds till Biden was gone. Exactly. They had a meeting. Biden is an old head. When I say old head, that's positive. He's one of these old head politicians that are getting older and they're leaving us. Biden did say that during Lester Holt's interview that he had no intent to run for president at the beginning of the first 4 years. But when he said that when he saw the flying of swastikas and he saw all these things happening, he said more. But we know what that means. He said, I had to run. He's done a lot. in my eyes, more people disagree, but I truly do believe that this race is where it needs to be. Not that I'm against Biden, but it's where it needs to be. So I think now we got a real boxing match here. Might sound weird that we're calling it a boxing match, but it is what it is. It's how today people look at things. I don't. I still got old school in me. I still have a lot of seriousness in me. I look at facts. But I feel we have some run for the money. There is a month, yeah? So, where are we now? Where are we now? Well, are the Republicans going to come after Kamala like they did Biden? Can they? Are they scrambling? Are the Republicans scrambling? I mean, they were riding Sleepy Joe, right? He fell off the bike. He's old. And then they're said about Kamala, she had a lot of black people arrested in California. I mean, did they do anything wrong, or were they just good, sweet people? I mean, we do have to look at it as people have to do their job. I'm not saying that to be cut and dry, because there are a lot of people that are not good at their job. Whether people hate Kamala or whether people like her, whether they like her or hate her, she's a threat. And when I say she's a threat, highly intelligent woman, has a lot of strong family support, got a fine ass husband, lots of great support. People hate Hillary, but they got a lot of old Hillary women back in the Hillary days are pulling out them pocketbooks. Snap. You know those old pocketbook purses that got the hard snaps, you can break your finger trying to open up a snap. Donate. You have a woman's revolution. You have a woman's revolution. Who will be her running partner? Rumors are saying Beto. Rumors are saying Gavin Newsom. Who will be the running partner? We don't know. Slow down. But the thing is that media is not going to slow down. We can't slow down. It's not how you live today. You have to stay up with it. Coyote says, right now it's looking like Kamala and somebody. There is 1 month for guys to grab the most delegates. I mean, now that we have internet and that we have cell phones and that we speed things up pretty quick. You just can't tell me that, just Biden just decided. Yeah, I mean, I kind of believe that too. But, we have people, like I was telling you, I'm an admin person. And my job was to do 1 year predictions. Well, 1 month predictions, quarterly predictions, yearly predictions, 3 month predictions, 5 month predictions, 10-year predictions. People in those positions, they don't live paycheck to paycheck. It means they don't make decisions. Some things you have to address when it happens, right? I get that. But when it comes to certain things, the real plan is planned out for years ahead. That's how you manage a country. We know that, right? There's no way that someone said, well, I made a decision today. Okay, now we got a scuffle. It's strategic. I mean, if you're not strategic, nobody will win elections. So this election is about winning. It's about someone winning. Not just winning, because there's going to be a lot of losers. So how do y'all feel about that? About Biden dropping out? about Kamala jumping in. How do you feel about how the Republicans are responding to that? I know Vance is right here, and he says that Vance, that's the vice president that Trump has picked to be his running mate. He said Harris, now check this out. J.D. Vance said that Harris is 100 million times worse than Biden. Why is that? I mean, people could name call, he's old. How many people of us know some old ass people in our family pretty damn smart? It's just another way just to throw something at somebody. Psychological warfare. What I was saying at the beginning of my channel, the beginning of the live, I was talking about anxiety. How anxiety can tear you down. How do you work through these anxiety? How can you do it? All these people are in anxiety. So Coyote says there's a big game being played. Yes, Coyote. And are the donors voting on it? Oh, yeah. Money. Money is transferring like a motherfucker. There's a lot of racing. And the stock is up. The stock is up. People can say, well, Biden's prices, groceries are up, it's expensive. Y'all, just look at the facts. I know people don't want to look at the facts because they're saying, well, those facts are ran under a Biden administration. But, I mean, we got to get our numbers somewhere. To me, I could feel it here. Eggs went down. My husband got a pork shoulder. He made a pork shoulder. And prices went down like $7 instead of $30. Ribs are like $9.99 instead of $20. Ribeyes are $10.99 instead of $30 for 3. You know, it's like, I can tell something's happening. So, gas prices. What is the magic? When we get our magic hat, what do we pull out of this hat now? What do we run with now? Since now Kamala could be running for president. Let's put it out there. She's a black woman. She's black. And she's a woman. So we're not only looking at possibly the first black woman president, but we're looking at a woman that the Republicans are saying, that Kamala is 100 times worse. Now, Republicans are calling her worse because, of course, they're not on her side. She'll be great if they were on her side, but that means she's a big threat. I mean, she doesn't have a memory problem. She doesn't stutter. She rides the bike pretty well. I mean, what she's done, arrested a whole bunch of black people in California. I'm not being insensitive, but did they commit crimes? Did she over-prosecute? Maybe. Did she make those laws for her to over-prosecute? No. Law's been sitting in there in the grave forever. So what do? So Coyote says politician for the next month. Media is going crazy. I have to admit, I got freaking excited. Why, Rhonda, are you excited? Because nobody wants to ask me questions. Why I got excited? Because it made me, I have the thrill for, competition. I like radical stuff. I didn't say radical where people get hurt. I'm talking about give me something that will make me come alive. Give me something to go, what? A different conversation. Give me something juicy. Give me something that I can go, you know what? Kamala's a bad mother. Hush your mouth. She's got an education. What are they going to say now? I mean, they're going to say something. They're going to do something. They got to be tippy toes because she has a white husband. She has a white husband. I mean, what are they going to say? I mean, they could say a lot. And they will. That's the thing. They will. But politics didn't just come out. It's been around. Way, Queen Elizabeth paid Columbus, gave him some money to bring the ships down here. They started colonizing. They got rid of Native Americans and so forth. And they start enslaving free black people. And history goes on and on and on and on and on. Stole the land, wars. I'm going to move west. I'm going to find gold. I'm going to go to the richest land, California. I'm going to find gold. I'm going to get rich. I mean, it really repeats. It repeats itself. History does repeat itself. It's really the same old shit. But what makes it juicier is that we're having the first of something that's never happened before. Have we had black women to run for president before? Yes, we have. Is this different? Yes, it's different. Because this black woman will be running against Trump. She doesn't have a stuttering problem. She's not old as hell. That's what they said about Biden. Have nothing against old people. I love old people. I'm 58. Kamala's what? 60s maybe? I don't know. I mean, what is it now? She gonna pull up her history, how she handled things, and turn more blacks against voting Democrat because she had a lot of people, black men arrested in California. They were prosecuted and blah, blah, blah. I'm not being insensitive. I'm just saying what will be next. All right, so Kamala's 1 year older than me. I'm really, you know what that means to me when I say really? I ain't that damn old, y'all. We ain't stupid. I'm 58. She's 59. She's same age as Mark Holmes. We're still scooting the bootin'. Come on, yeah. 50s is what, the new 30s? 50s the new 30s? Sure. We are living longer than we ever have. Thanks to medicine. I'm just excited because I want to see what's going to happen to Supreme Court. I want to see what's going to happen. Oh my God, I'm so excited with both parties. I can't wait to see a debate. Woo! Y'all haven't known me in past elections because I wasn't live, but I've been doing elections since I could vote. And when I say that, I've been talking about it, I've been educated about it, I've been excited about it, I have watch parties. I turn it into excitement. It's excitement. And I had a live before where people have said they get caught up in going too far because when you go too far and then there's lives being lost, that's too far. But how you could truly enjoy is that you find something you really like about it. Get some hot wings, have great sex after a debate party. Put some cherries in the... Turn it fun. And also plant a garden. Just in case shit falls out the bottom of the bucket, something happens, then always have something in the piggy bank, save. My grandmother would say, if you have a quarter, save a nickel. Or did she say, if you have a dime, She said, if you had a dime, save a nickel. My grandmother would say that. Just focus on the four walls of your house. Focus on your backyard. Make sure your grandbabies are great. Your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your in-laws. Garden, some chickens and some cows and some land and a fishing pole. Don't be caught fishing on someone else's land illegally, because guess what? They got cameras out in them damn ponds now. God dang it. When I was a little girl, I used to go out there barefooted and go fishing. Have me a little pole. We had worms that were so long, longer like snakes, and I go fishing. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't fish for sport. We had to fish for food. I didn't know I was poor back then. We probably was. I didn't see us being poor. I saw us maybe lower middle class. I had everything I wanted. I felt I did. And when I put a fishing pole out there, I wanted that fish, and I wanted to take it home, and I was going to clean it, and I was going to fry it, and I was going to eat it because I was hungry. It seems like when I was a kid, I was always hungry. We're going to have more watch parties. We're going to watch politics. We're going to be friendly. You can talk how you want to talk. If you support somebody, then that's fine. Put the truth out there, how you feel. We don't have to attack each other. We don't have to give people anxiety about it. But now that so many people I hear say, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm not voting for Biden. Okay, y'all out there, y'all know who you are. It's nobody in the chat room, though. Okay, good night, Coyote. It's nobody in the chat room. But I'll go to other people's YouTube pages, and they say I'm sitting on the couch because Biden. Well, guess what? What are you doing now? What's your excuse now? You're sitting on the couch for what? Sometimes there are groups of people who just want to follow just to be following. And sometimes it's like, well, I don't know what to do. There are people out there who just don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you something. There was this comedian I really liked. I learned to like her later. I don't think I was a great fan of hers before. What is her name? She's a tall black lady. She is so cray-cray. Let's see if I can find her on here. She was on Saturday Night Live. She has me dying. Let's see. Black comedian woman on Saturday Night Live. I'm trying to remember her name. Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones never voted. Yeah. This is what I love about her story. She never voted. Never voted in her life. She gave a reason why she never voted. I understand. I understand about history. I understand about our black history. I understand about votes being found in the creeks. I understand people losing their lives. I can understand people giving up their lives for us to have the luxury to vote. I respect the hell out of all of that. My mom and dad today wouldn't be caught dead early voting, because they lived in a time where their early votes, their ballots were just thrown away, found in a dump. So they vote on the day of. They're 80 years old and 81. I keep up with it. I'm estranged from my parents. I love them from afar. But I can talk about them because I know that when they voted, they had a good impression on me. They had a good impression on me. They taught me a lot. I was fortunate to learn a lot because I come from a political family. I come from a grandmother who was who was an organizer, a community organizer. I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I started doing it too. The more I started doing it, the more I started learning the truth about how politics work. The more I started understanding how voting worked. The more understanding how I never wanted to run for office. I've had people try to nominate me 3 times, said, we want you to run. My daughter said, no, Mama, no. She said, they're not going to give a damn about you. Because I know I'm that kind of person. I would die for the cause, right? And my daughter wasn't willing for me to go out like that. It's like, no, No, Mama, don't. These folks here, it's okay. I listen to her. It's something when you get to a certain age where you learn to listen to your kids. We as parents, we always want to take that position to lead. We want to teach our kids. We want them to always respect us, and we are the leader. And we have a position where they will always need us. We know that. But there is also a time we must listen that our kids, we must listen to our kids. And I let her know that. I say thank you. Because I was flattered. I was flattered when I was asked. I had a lot of people behind me. They were ready to go. And my daughter said, no, Mama, please don't. That's okay. I found out that I needed to do work on myself. I needed to rest. I needed to heal. I needed to find myself. I needed to find things I loved, bond with my husband more, bond with my grandbabies, watch them. I needed to learn, what do I look like as I get older? I didn't know how I looked. I was so busy. And finally, when I retired, I actually took time to look at myself in the mirror and I go, oh my God, I got a little skin hanging down here. Oh my gosh. I am getting older. My eyes are like, oh my Lord, look at me aging. Aging so beautifully. But I didn't know because I was a wash and go girl. I jump in the shower, I haul ass to work. That was just every day. I had to learn what I look like. I had to learn to love myself, right? I love myself all the time, but I'm saying really get to know me. Really, I had to learn how to listen to my husband in ways I've never listened before because I was working so much. I just wasn't listening because I didn't have time. We had a lot of date nights. We had a lot of fun. We traveled a lot. But I know him more now. The point I'm trying to make, Leslie Jones, comedian. She said, this was years ago, she said, I never voted. She said, I never thought how important it was to vote. She voted for the first time. Let me see if I can find her quote. I want to read her correctly. Leslie Jones, talk about voting for the first time. I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm not trying to force this on anybody. I am just quoting what she said and what I've even learned from her. It says, Leslie Jones, the comedian, actress, and author, has been vocal about voting and political issues. In a recent tweet, she warned against voting for the off-the-rails Republican Party. Just listen to this. Let me finish. Don't lose me because I pointed out Republican Party in what she wrote. Just read along. Expressed a concern that it could lead the United States to a place where it becomes irreparable. Jones encourages people not to be complacent and to take action. Voting for the first time is an exciting experience to many. And it's heartening to see young voters participating in the civic process. If you'd like to hear more from Leslie Jones, you can also watch her on Impassioned Plea on The Daily Show. So she's on The Daily Show. I wanted to read what she said a while back. And this is not about Trump bashing. I'm trying to find out what she said. Talk about for the first time when she voted. I'm trying to see if it has her quote so I can share this with you. So I can't find it, but y'all can Google it. But she pretty much says, I did not know how it worked. She started really opening her eyes more when she couldn't find work. And she was out there revamping her image, her brand. She started working out. Yeah, I follow her on TikTok. I do. I'm watching her growth and I'm enjoying it. She's out there exercising. She almost was suicide a while back because people talked about her so ugly. How people do. She talks about how she's overcome that. She gets her nails done. She's looking feminine the way she wants to look, not what people out here judge her the way they think she should look. She loves herself. There was a lot of public shaming of her. But I can't find it. I'm not going to take time trying to find it. But basically, what I learned from her experience, look for her on TikTok. She talks about how she didn't give a damn about voting. And then she started learning how it works, how it affects people. It doesn't affect people by just what you see on the news quickly. They don't give an educational course on that. They're skipping on a lot of stuff because they don't have time. A lot of the new shows is just an hour. They don't have a lot of time to be chitty-chatty about from A to Z how we got here. But let's say what's happening today is because of things that happened historically. And it's what history that's brought us here. I'm not being preachy. I'm just saying that if you see something that happened today, there's a method to his madness written in history. Why is it like that? And why am I talking about this now? Because my beautiful daughter, both my daughters are in politics a lot. Not that I force them, but they know if they're going to talk to me, they're going to get it. And when I say they're going to get it, what that means is that they're going to get some knowledge, right? Because if they come to mama and they ask me, then I have to bring it. They're highly intelligent women. My daughters are very highly intelligent. So they know bullshit when they hear it. I gotta keep sharp. Thank God I am, because I've done my work. So she came in today and she talked to me and she's like this and that. And she talks to me because she does her homework. She studies it. She's like, I heard about such and such numbers. I heard about this, heard about that. Trump. And she's the kind of person too. She wasn't born in a time like me where, when we say we're going to vote for somebody, we know why because of the history of it, and we know why because we knew people who was affected by not having the privilege to vote. I knew them people. My daughter didn't, right? So it's going to affect me differently. It's going to affect her differently. She didn't know anybody personally whose right was taken from them at an old age. They're older now, that they're living and that their right was taken from. She doesn't. They're all gone. Even though they are messing with the voting scrolls right now. So I make sure I have my original birth certificate. Yeah, it's in record, it's all that, but I just make sure. I just don't wait till the last minute and go, oh my God, I don't have my voter's registration card. It's free. Get it in the mail. You can do it online. If you don't know how, send me an email, I'll help you. But Leslie Jones gave me a whole way of looking at something because she didn't know the history, because she was sitting on the couch her whole life, because she had a good reason. People have a good reason, whether they are directly affected by police violence, whether they are affected by losing someone to inequalities, when the court system was wrong, when the court system was unfair, when they're living in an environment where, they see it, frontal view of politics effing them over. I get it. I just don't get someone just not partaking. Once you do it, it's so liberating. It's so liberating. My daughter last year, who lives in Dallas, got 3 of her friends who never voted. They got together, they had book reading parties, and they sat down and they discussed. They weren't uninformed voters. They discussed why they were going to vote for somebody and were not, and why they weren't. And they weren't uninformed voters. And for the first time, they voted years ago. And they still voting today. But in their circle, it was unpopular to them. It was like, my friends knew that I voted. I'm going to look so uncool. It's peer pressure too. So I come in here and I started the live. I was talking about anxiety. I was talking about chat rooms. I was talking about how I feel, and I called him out. This person whose chat name starts with a T. I've seen him in action against me in other venues. And you go, what do you do with somebody like that? And you just have to ignore them, because a lot of people like that, they are used to manipulating people their whole life. And this is how they think that they get ahead, is lying and manipulation. And trust me, I lived long enough where I know people like that. People, they end up, other people around them see what they're doing. They know. Just remove yourself from the shit slinging and let them put foot in their mouth. Let them be the one to put foot in their mouth, not yours. Because it catches up. It catches up with people like that. So I was happy to be in Mark's chat room today. I do get excited. I have many muses. He's one of my muses. I'm not the only one. You have him being a muse to Game Time Brian. You know, he has this thing where he shows up and people liked him. We can't block him as moderators. I timed him out for 10 seconds. I timed his ugly ass out for 10 seconds because he was wrong for what he said. And he knows what he was doing. So what he does, he gets people off guard. And when you think that you're caught up in a different conversation, that you're not paying attention, then he slips shit through. And that's how he does. I'm not against Twitch Digger. I think he's a cool person when it comes to typing. I don't know him, and I don't care. I bring this up in my chat room, in my live, not because he's important. But I bring it up because when people end up just defending somebody that don't know shit, then we got problems. And when it becomes a problem of a we, then somebody like me just needs to take a break. It's not that serious, yet it's serious. Because you want somebody dropping your name and saying you did this and they're lying. And what happens, you're dealing with people's credibility. Because he don't know shit. And the one thing I could tell you is that I know there are moles. I know, I'm not stupid. I've been around this internet thing since the 90s. I know there are people that can text each other, and there's moles that have wrenches that go in there and say, oh, I see who timed such and such out. Well, I'm going to text them and tell them. It's a lot of bullshit, and it's crazy, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic, but it's real. That's the point. So Lola says he's another crybaby, and he talks too much and calling us mall cops. Coyote says, I had to wear an eagle emblem for a week, and he did a cowboy on bets, and he disappeared. I had to wear it. He disappeared and keep the law. He didn't keep up with his bet. Is that what he did? He's hilarious to me. You know, and that's how you have to look at it. Yeah, we said his name. We're not trying to make him internet famous. Did I say Coyote? Oh, I thought you said Coyote who? I don't know. He didn't come around. So we understand the deal. That people they text him. They go, oh, that was Rhonda that timed you out. Oh, I got the goods. Such and such timed you out, twits. If they have to have that kind of company, bless them. Bless their poor little pea-picking heart. Bless them. Really? Brian told him? Brian who? Brian told him I timed him out? What's going on? I haven't been around. Oh, see, I haven't been around, so I don't know the environment. I know I saw a couple of people, it was strange. And I start timing a lot of people out because they were saying some ugly things. I mean, come on now. They weren't saying like hating on cowboys, which is ugly enough. I'm saying they were saying some disrespectful things. You know what I'm saying? No, when I did it today. Oh, he doesn't win that much though. He doesn't win much. He keeps losing because he keeps coming in there with different people's different game. What do you call it? The different logos or the brands of different NFL teams. He's wearing different helmets. I'm like, you lost again? This is snakes. If you know a snake is a snake, you stay away from a snake. You know? A snake is a snake. You don't have to shout them out. Oh my God, hi, how you doing? Don't shout at snakes. I just know I walked in as Game Time Brian. He seemed to be a little heated. I'm like, what's going on? But I'm glad I'm not around it, you know, because I just have too much important things. All I know is that what I remember the last time I was, you know, around that, what I know is that we were helping people get subs, you know, the cowboy content creators. I mean, is there a real bumping heads there? Not that I need you all to say anything. I don't need that, but I'm just saying. And it just sounds like for me, just in my position, that, you know, you have Mark Holmes who's being, like he was saying, old time coach, where you got to learn. You know, it's like, for me, it's like Mark has been through some shit to get where he's at today. He didn't ask anybody for help, even though he asked for likes. But I'm talking about he really is his own man and creating what he does. And I understand. I understand how out there, let's say, for example, our kids, they want it easy, right? Since mommy has this, I want it. I'm entitled. I'm talking about kids. And kids need to learn how to get there. It's not easy. So Callie says, I don't know. He was most likely playing, but I don't ask if you don't want to talk. Yeah. I mean, not to get in the middle of it, but just saying that from just what I know of and being old school like I am, and knowing a person from the position of helping others. I'm not talking about on YouTube. I'm talking about in life itself. You know, I've helped a lot of people, a lot of young people, and it just seemed like they just were so impatient and they just didn't. Well, I did too, but I think it got a little bit testy. You know, a little bit testy. Lola, you said I thought they were joking. Yeah, I think a little bit. It was a little bit of heat. And not speaking about Game Time Brian at all. That's not my business at all. But I'm just saying, and Mark is not my business either. But what I can understand just by what I know being around Mark more is that what he has earned. And what comes with that is a lot of hate and a lot of harassment and a lot of insecurities, and people are just Even though, yeah, we could say, everybody out there, yeah, he brings it on himself, blah, 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 blah. I know it. It's a part of the culture. But I think there's some language that was shared that was sounding like Mark had it easy. And what Mark has, he has earned. It's his business, it's his family, it's his houses, it's his skills, it's his skill set, it's his cooking. He's just a man on earth, working hard and making a living. And it's no joke to own your own business and be dependent on one man bringing money in to pay for all the bills based upon rent. It's just not easy like that. So Caliola says he was having a bad day. Something happened in his life, most likely. So if he needs time, then it's all good. So I don't know. I think it's good for everybody to take a break. You have to take a break. I do. I didn't do book readings for 3 weeks. I mean, I've been running a channel every single day, live, on time, for 7 months. I'm retired. As long as I don't see it as a job, I do enjoy it. As long as I don't have no drama around me, I don't feed into the drama. Not in my circle. Then it doesn't feel like a job. And it's okay to take off. It's okay to not do something. It's okay not to post. Eastside, are you in the cut? Eastside, are you there? Are you there? So the reason why I'm talking about this is not to bring division. It's not to talk about someone else's business, but to say some things because I was there. It's my business when I am there. And I just happened to see some dark. It was dark before, but it just seemed darker. And I said, well, how do I handle this? Well, I type over 120 words a minute. Either I could leave the room or I could stay and out-type their asses. And I did out-type them, whoever it was. I don't even remember their names. But what happens when it comes to your credibility, right? And I have a problem with that. I just got to say, well, let me go block them. Let me hide them where I don't have to ever see them again. And it's okay to do that. We ain't that nosy having to see everything these fools type because you're not missing out. Unless you could ignore it. You can ignore it. Call your friends, say, Rhonda, come up in the room with me, girl. Let's jump this sucker. Hey, Coyote, what's up? Get on in the room. We Cowboy Nation. It's just what it is. So I had a good time. Been in the chat room. I've been in the room like 2 days in a row, and I just had so much fun. I missed the one where he's in there live with, what do they call him, Dan Scalia or something like that. I've been there for a little period. It was like I was there when it was like over, and then they were closing down. I was like, I want to be there at the beginning. So I haven't been there for that. But I think what's happening is that, people are getting excited. They know, there's this sort of just lazy people when it comes to their emotions, when it comes for their hate for the Cowboys. And, a lot of times, I say, well, I'll time it out for 10 seconds. I mean, what's 10 seconds? You just have to trust your decision. You're chosen as a leader. When you have a wrench, it's not the stupid, petty stuff. You're taking up your life to do something for someone else because you're loyal, and you're there to support them while they're alive. And that's valued and that's respected. And Mark knows more than you think. And then Lola says, that's why I time out some guy with the name Dan, because he said, oh, she's a woman. Yeah, I remember that. But, oh, she's a woman. She don't know nothing about football. Eastside agree with him. Yeah. I saw that. I was there. And I'm hanging out in the cut sometime. Like today, I was in there earlier, and not today earlier. It was like I wasn't there the first 15 minutes because my daughter was here, my grandson was here. Of course, I would spend time with them, so I spend quality time. But I had the live up, right? I could see the interaction even today, and I saw that before Mark actually, was signed on. Well, he was there, but before he came on live, so I saw the interaction there. So sometimes I'm just sitting in a cut and I'm just watching, not trying to watch behaviors, because I want to listen to what Mark is saying. I want to catch up. But also, I want to see what the chat room is saying too. And when I happened to see, I had a frown on my face like, are you kidding? Like, what? So maybe East Side will cut back a lot on, Elfin with you, Lola. And I'm not saying that you need him in any way. I'm not saying you need me. We're not. But I'm just saying that extra stuff gets people to gang up on you and take away from your experience, of having a good time and supporting your team. And it takes away, you know. So, we cool with East Side, and we kind of expect, well, East Side, come on. I mean, we know you're a Texans fan, but you're going to be timed out too. You mess with me again. I don't know. But then, moderators just have to be more confident in why you're wearing a wrench. Why you wear the wrench. Because a lot of people who are not wearing the wrench, they don't see it. And probably 90% of the people who are there are clueless as to the politics that's going on in that room. They don't know the history. They don't know the stalkers. They don't know the ones who've used our families' pictures, who have doxed us. They don't know. I do. I've been brought up to date. So Coyote says he's only two guys I've seen that are Houston fans, all Houston teams. Yeah, East Side is. I think he's cool. I think he's sitting in the cut. I think he has been cruel against Lola in the chat room. I've seen it. I'll be transparent with that. So, just got to trust your gut. If something gets toxic, then you time them out. Mark knows he has some ride or die people who wear those wrenches. And I think, most of the times he's very cautious who he gives a wrench. It's easy to take a wrench away. It's too easy. It's too easy to give one. It's too easy to take it away. And people go, well, hey, I love this wrench. It gives me, people out there, it gives me credibility. It gives me respect. It does. It shows that you're loyal. And then Mark was also live saying who he called fam. And he called out Lola. And he called out me. And he called out his son. And he called out these people. And a lot of people who are sitting in the cut that's listening in probably don't know what the hell we're talking about. And if you have an internet name, if you're signed in, if you're around any chat room, you understand what we're talking about. So Coyote says, I've been to 2 Houston Astro games, which is cool, but Rockets were all right when Young Ming and T-Mac were there. I know Yao Ming. Yeah, Yao is not there anymore. So that tells you how long it's been for me too. It's been a long time for me too. So, we have, my internet keeps popping out. I don't know if it's telling me that I'm like just 94 minutes into my live. Coyote says, I troll, so I'm not worried about them. I troll trolls. I mean, y'all, If I go to an Eagles room and someone is talking shit to me, I'm going to talk shit back. That's how it works. I mean, I talk shit all the time. Someone pissed me off today, and I said, look, you're limp. And they go, limp? I go, your brain, you can't think. You're limited in conversation. Your vocabulary is limited. Is this all you got? And what happens, a lot of them can't type that fast. I type over 100 words a minute, so I type really fast, and they're like scrambling. They're like, damn, she went to another thought process. I can't keep up. She's pissing me off. Then they come out with these other negative stuff. So you just got to get to a point where you can ignore them, and or you take note and you remember the motherfuckers next time. So yeah, I'll remember you next time, because most of what we're talking about, there's a lot of people that are clueless. They don't know, and we don't want them to know, because we want to make sure they have a good chat experience, right? They come to the Cowboy chat room, we want them to have a great time. A lot of times they're just clueless. They just don't know, because if they really knew, they'd probably ruin their experience, because we know, right? We know the seriousness of it. So we wear the wrenches because we're trying to protect. We're trying to have Mark's back. You all have my back. We have this experience. We know the deal. We know what's bad out there. When you give me a wrench, I'm loyal. I'm loyal for the cause. I'll go down for it. I'm good. Because we know, there's people in there that change these names, and they come back to harass, snoop, stalk. And they're everywhere. It's no way of cleaning it up. You just have to really mute them. Block them. Don't give them any attention, because the trolls hang out there because they are dying for attention. They are so bored. They're bored. So they have no control in their personal life. So when they come to the chat room, they get a hard on, because Mark has probably one of the best chat rooms online. One of them, I say the only, but he does. Because we make it that way, right? And plus he's damn good at his job. He's really good at what he does. So people come. And then Coyote says, Eagle fans defend Jalen Hurts that his team quit, but losing 6 out of 7 and 19 turnovers, that pisses him off. It highly pisses him off, and it gets them so pissed off that they're dysfunctional. So you have a lot of people who are drinking and watching these games too. That's a whole nother monster. They're drinking, they're getting drunk, they use their little fingers. Not everybody's sober while they're in the chat rooms. They have some problems. So you kind of, I'm not saying it's okay, because you've seen me go off a lot. I try to give advice to live by, but guess what? I lose it too. I lose it. But we're human, and we all know why we're there. Angelica Barone, he knows who his ride or dies are. And same times when it becomes too much, just take a break. Holler at me. Hey, Ron, you got a movie to schedule? I sure will schedule a movie. I'll schedule a movie in a minute. I'm scheduled up, so anybody wants to see a live watch party, I'll schedule it. I'm booked. I'm trying to get booked up for a month in advance. So Coyote says, you can shit talk respectfully. Exactly. And then Mike out there says, we still talking about Mark again? I was trying not to. But I was trying not to talk to Mark. Talk about him, but we're like, it's our space, right? We're Cowboy fans, and we like being there, right? We like being there together. It's important. We have to talk about it. And it's okay. Because what you see is what I see. What you see is what I see. It's okay. So I came on live tonight because it says Kamala Harris presidential campaign rapidly begins to take shape. And I wanted to go on live yesterday. I think I was too tired. And then, well, I'm not really too tired. Basically, I did some painting and did some sanding and some filling up some spaces where the cats messed up and painted, getting ready for inspection today. And not because I was scared about that. It was just, I like perfection. I know I can live a better way than I am sometimes because I get so into, being in, doing the movies that there's some things get neglected, So I said, well, let me get some paint, do some touch-up painting because I love touch-up painting. I mean, around the door handles and stuff, and not to impress them, but just make me feel good. So Mike says, I'm usually missing in action through Mark's live stream when he's on. Me too. I mean, I just started going back a little bit yesterday, and I was there today because I just happened to be taking a break, not doing a movie, and believe it or not, when I go there, I do decompress. And I know it might sound pathetic, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I love it when Mark shouts out my name. I know I'm not the only one. I do. I don't know. Is this something that YouTube has tapped into that makes us happy when we're sitting back in the cut and we're watching live? We love our names being shouted out. I do. It makes you tingle. It does. I mean, oh no. It's the coolest thing. I'm just saying. It is crazy, right? He shouts out my name. I'm like, oh my God, he said it 3 times? Whoa! I do get excited. Do I? I mean, really? Do I, Lola? Do I get excited, Lola? Well, I'm being so honest. I just said I do get starstruck. He's just cute. He's fun. He's just got that gumption about him. And I just love the idea how he works his ass off. Which there's concerns by all of us. But he does what he needs to do. And so Lola says yes. So when do I get excited, Lola? When? I really can't tell. All I know is that I just have to really just love who I am because I know it's going to come out. It's going to come out. I get really flattered. And so Coyote said, it's about to get kicked off soon. When he says your name. Really? Aw. You want a picture? Oh yeah, I gotta send him my email address. Not email, my address too. I was really shocked. I get excited over things like me winning. Who would thought? My God, and I like his son too. He's such cool people. You want a picture? I won one from GTB that Mark made. That's cool. That Mark made. Okay. And so, Lola, how can you tell that I get excited when he says my name? Like, do I type? Obviously, I type something, right? Rhonda, you're just a pure person. I am. You see how my husband, he knows that. And he tells me, my husband says, Rhonda, he sits over there, he's gone to sleep. He said, Rhonda, I really love you like that. And I go, love me like what? He goes, when you're live. He goes, you're so happy. I said, really? He goes, yeah. He was saying that, not when I was alive, but when I was in the chat room. And I just love writing to people. I just love calling my cowboy, the women there, my cowboy sister stars, the ones who are not cowboys, I call them my NFL sister star. I just like getting people, because I do feel that I have an impact. I feel that I have a way of making people happy. I feel I have a way of bringing a spark. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And it was just like when Mark said that I lit up like a sunshine. That meant something to me because I was like, wow, that glow, I still got it. Because sometimes when you go through things, you think you've lost that glow, that glow. And it feels good I didn't lose it. Because, the things I've been through, you think that you get so sad and depressed that you lose it. But I go, wow, I still got it. I still got it. I still got that sunshine thing. And then Lola says, you're just a pure person. You're transparent. Thank you. I am transparent. I can't hold it in. I'm be excited. If you're going to come in the chat room, I'm just going to be honest with you. When I see you, I'm really excited because I know it takes a lot of clicks to click and to get where I'm at. That people can click somewhere else because I respect that. I respect how it works. I've been studying it. It's a lot. So for someone to actually go out of their way to be here and want to listen to me and want to hear what I got to say and want to engage and then support me and then smash that out, I mean, that's a lot of effort. And that's a lot what YouTube is expecting from people to do, and I appreciate it. I do. So I just have to be honest with what I feel. Even with the bond I feel I have with Eastside Harold. Yeah, he's a Houston Texans fan. No, but, it's something about what I like about Eastside Harold that I'm able to engage in conversation with him. And he engages in conversation with us. That you don't see him engaging in conversations elsewhere. Because he's always like messing with people or people just messing with him. Because that's what he probably likes, right? But my dream for the channel is to be able to get on a deeper level. Don't have to get so deep where you feel, you have to spill the beans stuff. No, but my goal is to be on a deeper level. I'm not saying being in a cowboy chat room is not. No. But when you're in a Cowboys chat room, that's a whole different climate. Mine is not on that level. You know what I'm saying? I'm about helping people with stress and anxiety, right? But it's a whole different climate. That's why I leave my climate and go into other climate because I'm ready to get name calling. I'm gonna bust your ass. I can go on Mark's channel and do that. It just feels good that other people see what you think you're giving away. I love when people see that what you're trying to pour, that they feel it. That they feel the sunshine, that they feel the happiness, that they feel the pureness and the honesty. And my husband, he's not overly protective, but he watches. And when I say he watches, he wants to make sure I'm happy. That I'm okay. And when he sees me just laughing and acting crazy, and he's like, oh my God, Rhonda, yeah. And he encourages it. And sharing this with my husband just gives me everything. Makes me feel I'm getting more value out of my life. It feels like I'm not losing value of my time. I feel like that I don't have to go out there in the public and be a part of these circles, because there are circles out there where you could spit poetry and you could go on live stage and sing. I don't want to be there. Number one, not because I'm scared, but because the environment is not me. Not into the drugs and the drinking and stuff like that. I mean, people want to drink, that's fine, but I'm just saying sometimes what comes with that is someone shooting, and there's someone seems to be every week guaranteed some young kid gets shot and killed. It happens, and it's sad, and it's always mostly Saturday night. And I said, I just don't want to be in it. I'm not ready to go yet. All right, well, I could sit my black ass in my chair and talk to y'all in the privacy of my home. I know there could be drive-bys. Drive-bys happen everywhere, but thank you, Lord, for blessing me and protecting me and helping me live another day. Because we know the violence is everywhere. I'm not trying to dip and hide, but I'm just trying to make good decisions to live longer, right? For my grandbabies, for my husband, for my daughters. I'm trying to live long because I know y'all don't want to hear no news. Something happened to Rhonda because she made a dumb decision. So this is why I do it here. It's safe. It's in my house. And I love it. And it makes me feel good. And I have to have date night, to have these date nights with my husband, and we watch the movies and people come for a movie. Is that not the coolest thing? That people come enter the room to watch a movie. Right? That's cool. It's safe. You don't have to spend any money. Just hang out. And then Lola says, because he always on timeout. I know, Law Nation, his chat people, I have a family in there too, in Law Nation's room. They don't take Eastside Herald stuff. I know a couple of them, not personally, but we're tight, Cowboy Nation strong. And then Coyote says, Indianola, Mississippi, just has a big shooting. Oh, and then Lola says, yep. Oh, yeah, I mean, my daughter, she'll call me on the phone, and I feel so cool about that, y'all. My daughter calls me, oh, I'm a cool mommy. And she'll call me on the phone, and she said, Mama, did you hear about such and such? I said, yeah, I kind of got something in the email about some shooting. And then she'll tell me, and I said, oh, and she calls me because she wants to hear me spit some wisdom, right? So obviously there's something I say she likes because she calls me. And so I'm not trying to be preachy with her, but I'm just giving her what I feel, right? Obviously it's something she likes listening to because she keeps calling. It's pretty good, pretty cool. And so I know that makes her wonder. Like, Mama, did you hear that? I go, yes, honey. A lot of people on the front of the newspaper being prosecuted because they did something stupid that night. Because they hanging out and said something stupid. I don't need friends. If that's what you call friends, I don't want it. I don't want to be a part of it. I just want to live as long as I can. Do my movies. Come to Mark's chat room. Do a shout out to Game Time Brian. Have my crush on Primetime Phil. Call Philadelphia my stud muffin. Make people go, Whoa! Hello to my Cowboy Nation sisters. Hug my little grandson when Mommy brings him by here. Lola goes, Whoa! You know what I'm saying? Community building. Probably can't do that much there. when Cowboys is kicking their ass and they're bitter. Who cares? We're about winning. We want to win. That's a part of what the game is. We're supposed to be having fun. And then we come over here to Rhonda's page and we have rehab. We have rehab. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, why I get starstruck with Mark. I think it's just because he does have that thing where he just reminds me of when my family who works their ass off and he works hard for a living, and the kind of life he lives, I can relate to it when it comes to his mother canning goods and working in a garden and cooking and all that. It's like we're neighbors, we grew up together, And I think not only do I feel like that, I think he appeals to many people like that. It's just not Rhonda. I think it's just a lot of people hang out with him because he has this ability to make you feel that you are important to him. And you just don't see that anymore. You could connect with people, but there's an energy thing. I think it has a lot to do with when we've lost friends. That really gets me, when we lost a friend there. And how he went out of his way to go to his funeral and help him, that really gets me. I'm empathetic. How, he uses money out of his pocket, him and his wife uses money out of their pocket to give up a part of their home, for someone in need. That makes me feel like, wow, what can I do to encourage this person to continue growing and climbing to the top and not giving up and not quitting and ignore the bullshit. And it's not bullshit, yeah, it affects your family, but not ignore it. Sometimes you just got to head on. Okay, I just saw the news. I was looking at Cory Booker, and I just thought that maybe Cory Booker was probably going to be running for vice president. So I was just like, hmm. Yeah, he is. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Yeah, he is. That's just what I got to see in it. And I know that what he's doing, he ain't making a whole lot of money. They'll be thinking he does. He's not making. We content creators ain't making a lot of money, but we do make something, and it does help with something. We can fill up the tank full of gas every 3 months. That's better than nothing, y'all. If you don't have nothing, that's better than nothing. I was able to get like a scoop of cat food for my cats today. You know what I'm saying? It was wonderful. So I just wanted to tell you all. And don't forget, if y'all want me to come on live, you don't see me coming on live, you can send me an email. If I don't respond, sorry, it is because I am legitimately away, maybe with the family or with hubby, with the kids, grandbabies, you know. I want to do a movie tonight. I think I'm going to work on Sheena, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. There is a person online that is a Tarzan fanatic. This sweet person breaks down every second of the timeline of Tarzan. I love this man. That first name starts with an A. It's Aaron something. So he's been asking me for a long time, can you do Sheena? Can you do Sheena? So yes. So I have Sheena coming up in a couple of weeks. I've been working on that. All I gotta do is plug it in to schedule it. I'll schedule it tomorrow before our nighttime movie. We have our party tomorrow with a cartoon. I got to the store for 2 bags of groceries and it costs $30-50 every time. I know. When you go out to eat, you can even go to, you know, a restaurant and spend 30 like it's nothing. It's like, you know, it used to be you can go somewhere and get you some burger fries or something. So tomorrow night, I have The Hitchhiker, which is 1953, tomorrow night. And the cartoon is a Looney Tune cartoon because I play a little cartoon right before the movie on Tuesday nights. And so it's called Fur of Living. It's like an 8-minute, 6-minute cartoon. And The Hitchhiker, 1953, it is, woof. And it's public domain. So I have to get public domain movies or Creative Commons, something like that, you know, so I could stay within the rules of respecting people's art. And then also coming up this Saturday is cartoons and some commercials. Have you ever seen George of the Jungle cartoons? You know what? I have. And I love them. Sorry, I'm trying to cut on my light. I'm right here. I'm right here. I got to switch out lights because I'm trying to plug in my other one. Okay. So yeah, George of the Jungle, loved it. I do have some cross-referencing checks that I do. Sum of All Fears. That's a movie. I've heard that before too. I've heard of that. Am I too bright? Let me know if I'm looking too bright on here because sometimes I can kind of dim it. Oh no. Dim it just a little bit. So we have that with Fat Albert. A lot of great cartoons. The Jackson 5 is on there with Alphabet's commercial. The Jackson 5's commercial. Yeah, yeah. And then look it up real quick. Big names. Sum of All Fears. Okay, let's see. Sum of All Fears. Sum of All Fears movie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a new movie too. I have to see. I'm trying to look something up. Is Sum of All Fears public domain? That's the one with Ben Affleck. Yes, and Morgan Freeman. Yeah. I'm looking on here and it's saying that it's not up for public domain. I know, I know online there's a lot of movies that you see that people do, and it looks like some really great movies, and you're like, wow, how do they do that? It's either they have permission from the company to have the movie channel and to play their movie. It's either that they have bought the rights to it, or they got what I say permission and that. What happens when me, if I do it, someone reports me and I get a strike if I don't have proof of public domain. It's why you see the kind of movies that I post. They're good ass movies. Don't get me wrong. I am searching like crazy for the best of the crop. A lot of times you see some like, wow, that's kind of current, because somehow it fell into the public domain because they forgot to pay for their copyrights. So I have like 6 search engines. It's their website that show these. So with the sum of all fears, there's a search I did, and it does show that the copyright is paid for and owned, and I can't use it. If you all have ways of searching and proving that these movies that are their public domain, that'll be great. I do have a long list, and I'm organized and I keep up with it. But if it's scanned, and if it's when it's reported to someone who owns the copyright, because YouTube has a very intelligent system, and people who own copyright on their material, they have a scanning database system where they could scan the whole internet, and they find out that their stuff is used. They send a copyright, and then guess what? If I get 3, then my channel gets shut down. I already have 1. Is it either for older movies and shows? There is, yes, but at the same time, if you notice the movies that I found, some of them are newer movies. It's because I lucked out. It's like, oh, well, somehow they are up for public domain because someone in England, an English-made movie, the copyright wasn't paid for in America. That's how come you see me showing like a lot of English movies, movies in Africa, because they're free from public. They're free for public domain. They also have a thing where if it's 100 years old, if the movie is 100 years old, it's automatic up for public domain. So the question would be, what movies will be 100 years old? 1920s? Some 1930s? But I have like some search engines I use to verify if something's public domain. And if you've seen before 1924, but you'll see some other movies like Bela Lugosi. I know his was like 1930s, all black and white. But you've seen some color movies I got too. I was able to find where you can get some current movies where people did not pay for the copyright. They did not keep it paid, or someone dies, or someone's fighting over Godzilla or King Kong, and then it's in the middle of a lawsuit, so some of the movies fall in public domain. You know what I'm saying? And so there you are. You could probably get one of the King Kongs out of 20. Like there was a Titanic I was able to get that was up for public domain. It was a movie made in Germany, So it says here, if the date was before January 1st, 1929, yes. Can't get none of the, because you got to understand, Steven Spielberg, he's going to keep his stuff copyright. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those new movies with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and sometimes I would probably get one movie from Stephen King, like I had played before. He put it up for public domain because he believes in donating to the arts. Some artists, I don't know if it's something they have to do, that they have, when they make a certain amount of money, maybe they have to give up one public domain for a movie. I don't know how that works. But it seems like sometimes that happens, and then you're lucky. And I have resources, online where I could look at public domain movies and stuff. And trust me, it's a lot of them out there. I just don't have enough computer resources to schedule them 7 days a week. So I'm like, well, I can try to do twice a week. If I had another computer, I would be able to do it. If the date was before January 1st, 1929, then yes, it is automatically up for public domain in the United States, right? So there's some really good movies. If you've seen, I've done some silent movies, but I don't just stick to public domain and allow my value to go down as a content creator. I make sure that there are movies that are old Godzilla movies, yes. I make sure that I try to find something that's current too, that's if it's under public domain. Then it says, if the date was between January 1st, 1929 and December 31st, 1963, then for the movie to be in public domain, it would need to have one, never had a copyright notice or copyright registered. So yes, I had Gulliver's Travels. I got a copyright strike on Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels is up for public domain. I challenged it, and they removed the strike. Okay? I challenged it because I had proof saying it was public domain. I just don't want to get a habit of getting copyright strikes, So I do have references I check. Now, I'm going to read this again. If the date was between January 1st, 1929 and December 31st, 1963, then for the movie to be in public domain, it would need to have, number one, never had a copyright notice or copyright registered. And believe it or not, there are a lot of movies in that time that are not copyrighted. They're in the public domain. There's a lot of good horrors back in the 60s and the 50s, a lot of good ones, So that's rule number 2. And it's a lot to it. So yeah, I did play Gulliver's Travels, and I had to remove it because I got a strike, but I fought it. So that's the second rule. And the third rule is, if a movie never had a copyright renewal filed, you need to dig through United States copyright offices online. If a renewal was filed, then the movie is copyrighted for 95 to 96 years. That means I'm shit out of luck. But what people fail to realize is that there's a lot of non-copyrighted material. It's a lot of, look at the movies I've been posting. They're good movies. They're not like washed out. If I'm going to post a movie, it's something that I love. Nadia Lister 90s. Hello, Nadia Lister. Hello, baby. This is my Nadia Lister. Nadia Lister. Dun, 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 dun. Nadia Lister. She's in the house. 1 hour, 28 minutes into Rhonda's Live. Welcome to Rhonda's Lovely Sparks. And it does says, if the date was between 1964 and December 1977, then you need to pull up the movie and search the opening and end credits for a copyright notice. If the movie has a copyright notice, then it's copyrighted for 95 years. If it doesn't have those notices, it's public domain. You see that? It's a lot of stipulations, right? So that's what I'm searching for. That's why when you see kind of like, let's see, copyrighted for 95 years. Let's see. And a lot of people don't share this with people because you know why? These content creators on here, they're like probably feeling like, I don't want anybody to steal my idea. I don't want no competition. Guess what? It's a lot of people making movies out there. So I don't think it really has anything to do with me when it comes to people, hijacking my channel. I think it has had a lot to do with just, I'm a brown girl in a small world. That too. Y'all know that. And then Mike Aldan's example, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Book, movie, should be public domain because Bradbury's deceased. Depends what year And sometimes what happens, what I find out, what's so beautiful, when I look up these public domains, do you know I found a movie? I forgot the name of it, but you know the movie was in 1925. Do you know when I looked it up on, I'm not saying all movies have this, but it showed the actual copyright. Did you know this man paid copyright for his movie? $1 for the copyright to last 100 years? In 1925, he paid $1. Think about that. Is that not some cool stuff? His signature, his address in New York, everything is on there. Of course, he's long gone and dead. But sometimes what happens, other people will take that up and they'll buy it. Family member, someone's art. Oh, 1966. Let me look that up. Fahrenheit 451. Let me see what Fahrenheit shows. 451. Okay. 451, public domain. And it's not a secret, it's public knowledge. So if people hide that information from you, they're wrong for doing that. It's public knowledge. Bradbury's iconic dystopian novel Fahrenheit 451 was published in 1953. Under copyright laws that existed until 1978, it would have entered the public domain January 1st, 2010. Yes, it's public domain. The novel. However, listen to this. Due to and this is me searching Bing, B-I-N-G. I have 6 other copyright government websites I use to look for my movies, to also look for copyright, see if something's copyright, and I go, dang, I can't do it. And then plus, sometimes things that are public domain or Creative Commons, you do a scan and upload it into YouTube, YouTube will block it. Not all the time, but sometimes. So there are all those, blocking type, problems that you go through when you're trying to get something done, and YouTube ain't fair, because YouTube, let me tell you this, YouTube has dominated the movies. YouTube has a channel movie system. You know what they do? They sit up there and they have a movie, and when they have a movie, and let's say, for example, Ben, B-E-N. You remember the song Michael Jackson, Ben? That movie is public domain. YouTube has that movie in their YouTube movie channel. YouTube has a movie channel too. So YouTube movie channel has been, but YouTube blocked me from using a movie that's public domain. So how'd I find it out? Because I contacted a person that is a movie production professional company, and it's toll free for people like me. And I called them, I'll be Googling stuff and trying to get help. And they said, yeah, YouTube puts a code in there to keep people from uploading the code that transitions the movie into a link that can update into your YouTube studio. So they put a scrambling code or something in it to keep you from the movie passing through. So I think that's full of trash, because if it's public domain, that means all of us can use it, not just you, YouTube. But there is something there going on, employee or something there. So anyway, however, due to retrospective extensions, it won't be in the public. Okay, here it is. Mike Aldana. I think, was that Michael Aldana that sent me that last? Good movie. Theme focuses on book burning. Okay, check this out. It says it would have entered the public domain on January 1st, 2010. However, due to retrospective extensions, it won't be in the public domain until 2049. You see? This means that readers Braille printers, budding playwrights, and school libraries face either higher prices on legal restrictions on reuse. So there you go. I can't use it. And I also go into like dukeuniversity.edu. You can look up also movies that have entered the public domain. You can look up revisions, right? 2049. Guess what? The thing is that people, these movies, they know they're good. So they're not going to let their movie go when they feel they can make more money off of it. And let's say they're not making any money off of it. So, but they still own it, own the rights. So they're just kind of like people who are hoarders who have all these storage buildings full of cars that they're never going to drive again. They just have it sitting there because they're hoping one day that it will make them filthy rich. That someone will come up with the money and say, I want to buy the copyright. And they say, well, you got to pay $45 million. YouTube, Google. Both of them. I think Google owns YouTube or YouTube owns Google. The Hobbit, that code is you personal code to them. Another 25 years. I know. So I have found some really good resources. Like I said, I always tell people, don't fret. I tell Andre too, because Andre's like, oh no. And I say, I'm good. I'm good on research. I've found some, here's some, and these are not secrets. It's just my work, right? Where I do a lot of public domain. I'm sharing this with you because it's public knowledge. It's not taking away my movies and my YouTube subscribers. There's codecatalog.loc.gov. And I'm sharing this in case y'all want to, y'all see some movies y'all want and y'all want to look it up in there. It's great. Publicrecords.copyright.gov. Publicdomainmovie.net. Wikipedia has a list of movies. Rhonda needs to be a copyright lawyer. Do I sound like one now? I do, don't I? Who would ever thought that I would learn this much doing these movies? I have to learn. I have to learn it if I'm going to have a channel that's going to be successful. Then you get people who are haters who join my channel because they're like, damn, you got the blob, 45,000 views on my YouTube channel. Then you have people are probably taking my stuff and using my stuff for theirs, but I don't own the movies. But they can go to my YouTube channel and go, well, I don't have to do research. She's done it, so I'll just use the movie and promote my own. That's happening. And no, they're there. You can't stop them. So yeah, and then I need to be a copyright lawyer. I really didn't realize I got that educated. But in order to find what I want, find good movies, to find quality movies, to be able to pair up movies, you see the game. Yeah, I do. I see the game. I mean, I've done some research, like a lot of the cartoons. I found ways to go, well, if I have a movie on Tuesday, then I'll find a public domain cartoon. And I find some good cartoons, right? Popeye, Looney Tunes, because you would think all of Looney Tunes stuff is copyrighted, not all of it. So there's a lot of things out there, like I said, falls through the loophole. It's not illegal. I can use it. I just have to save in my computer file that I have proof that it says public domain. So I know the game. I know what people are doing. I've had to learn the hard way. I do have still that strike I can't move, which was on the Jim Carrey movie, the Christmas movie. What's it called? It's a movie, just went blank. Jim Carrey, it's a Christmas movie. And he's a person who's really, it's a character where it's an old Christmas movie, he's very cheap. Christmas Carol. And that's when I probably posted it, I really didn't know a lot. So it took 7 months for them to come around and go, well, we're going to send a strike. And it was actually Disney. Now, I searched the movie. When I searched the movie and found it, YouTube sends me a message when I uploaded it. You know what the message said? The message in YouTube said, this movie has been approved by the copyright. You will not get a copyright strike. It tells you that it's okay. But you can't even trust that, because YouTube now will tell you, if we say it's okay through our scanning process and a filming company challenges us, and if they could show proof that they own the copyright, they have to do the strike, regardless of what their scanning systems tell me. So everything that's on my channel, YouTube approves. But YouTube is saying, well, we approve it, but you risk the copyright. If someone scans it and finds that you used it, then it's up between you and them, not us. So that happened. So Caliola says, if you get second strike, you just make a second channel and make sure people subscribe. So I have a backup. And then, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, because Caliola, can you tell me again that backup link you said that has nothing to do with YouTube? It's another type of channel. I was hoping to remember that to ask you when you got back here, but I forgot. But I did do a backup YouTube channel. And I asked Mike Aldana, Caliola, can y'all subscribe? It's my emergency backup in case I get a third strike, okay? And sometimes, and Najalista, all of you all, I have backup channel. That's in case, because like you said, if you get a second strike, you just make a second channel. So that's my backup channel. It's called Rhonda's Lovely Sparks 2. It has a 2 on there. Okay, let me write that down. Rumble, Facebook, okay. Oh, let me see. Let me email myself a copy of that. Thank you. So I saved that in my file. Thank you for sharing that. And I'll be working on that too, just in case. But I have 1 strike. If I get 3, and what's so sad about it, when you get 3, anybody out there can just target you. If they don't like you, they could just start reporting shit. Report. And the reason why I know that, because I was watching a guy talk about it, where he was attacked 100 and something times on YouTube by some haters that reported him. And, you know, YouTube sent him an email and said that we can't take you serious anymore. You're abusing the system. Well, he's not abusing the system. They're going back into the history of what he has written. And they're going back in there and they're just reporting him, because obviously he's got some serious haters out there. But there's not only haters, it's jealous people, right? So I thank you, Caliola, for that information. But Caliola, y'all click that. That's youtube.com at Rhonda's Sparks. That is a new channel, Najalista. I've started it. It's just a, they will call a SWAT team on you. Some people are twisted. They are. And that's what happened. I said, wow, because back-to-back weeks, I got strikes. So I got 2 strikes. So the first strike, I was able to get the Gulliver's Travels out, because it was just a company that was overseas that was obviously fraudulent, because they did not pay public domain in America. I don't think they really paid it in England, but they have to pay it in the United States. So it was, the movie I think was done in 1935, Gulliver's Travels, so I just went ahead and moved it. And it was a really good movie I loved. You know, I just can't risk it. And I have, how many days? I'm listening to Rachel Maddow right here talking to people who seem to be backing up Kamala Harris. They're going cray cray. I wonder why I'm having trouble switching my YouTube channels. Why is this going to, I want that. Maybe I need to reboot my system. They're doing like a going away party for Joe Biden, pretty much. You know, they're covering that, brought the big heads out. Okay, I'm trying to find something here. Okay, I'm under my real account. I forgot what I was looking for. Let's see what you said. Let's see. Going out of that. Okay, so I have active copyright strikes. It's 1. And it stays on for I think it's 90 days. So I have 77 days left. That's a long time. So what I did, I went ahead and removed 30 movies. That's in my archives on the playlist. Removed them. And the others, I feel, that are safe. I mean, so I've been safe. I did The Lost World, 1925, silent movie. Then I did 1992, The Lost World, which was out of England. So obviously England did not pay the copyright in America. I can use it. So I'm not stealing. I don't make any money off those movies. I don't ask for ads being played on those movies. So I ask for no monetization on there. If people want to send something, there's a way of doing that. They can go somewhere else and send, but not on movies, because I don't believe in someone watching a movie and then there's a commercial. You know what I'm saying? That's horrible. You're invited to my movie watch party and there's a commercial playing? No, even though people go, you're missing out making that money. No, I don't want to make people, really the thing is people coming around to enjoy a movie, right? It's not, even though, yeah, money is important, but yeah, so I want to tell you I have like 70 something days left. That's the complication behind it. Mike Aldana said I should be an attorney. I should give a class on that, right? Because of what I've learned. I've done my research and I've learned it. I do have your suggestions, so I'll be doing some more research on your recommendations because they're great movies. Before, I used to look up a lot of movies, and I found out that before the strike, I learned that I needed to dig deeper. You know what I'm saying? That, yeah, the Jim Carrey movie, The Christmas Carol, even though YouTube tells me you play the old commercials instead. Yeah. You said I play the old commercials instead. I play the old commercials on my nostalgia, but nobody's getting paid from it. It's just something that's in public domain too. More commercials are in public domain because it's not a movie. But it's not like I'm chopping up people's art and creating something else from their original art. If anything, I use it for educational purposes. So when I go online, and that doesn't save you from getting a strike either. But when I use educational services, I do polls. I talk about the history of the movie. I talk about the trivia, the plot, the description, the actors, the actresses. I'm doing something educational. So I don't want to show that, oh, I'm making money from your art, So I have some that says copyright, but it's not a copyright strike. You're going to post some things, it's going to be copyright. But as long as you can share the money, then I don't mind that. So I approve of that. But most everything is copyright. The Hitchhiker is not copyright. Have an old movie and halfway put an old commercial break instead of advertising. Wait a minute, let me see what you wrote. Have an old movie and halfway put an old commercial break. Instead of advertising, make it feel like a movie on the old antenna. Let me read that again. God, you got my brain working now. You be coming out there, Coyote, with that. Hold up. Let me look at. I gotta look at your chat on something else. Looks like my battery's going down. Have an old movie. Okay, I understand putting halfway an old commercial break instead of advertising. Okay, make it feel like the movie on the old 10. Yeah, that's a good one. But see, when I say commercials like ads, let me tell you this. When you have a YouTube channel and you are part of the partnership program, you qualify for people out there to pay you, your channel, for their ads running on your work. Make it feel like you're watching an old Western on basic TV. Okay, I like that. I do. I love that. That's a lot of extra work too. But I'm so used to doing it. I'm doing the vintage drive-in through the drive-in. No, I get what you're saying, just an idea. No, I love the idea. I mean, trust me, I love your ideas, because what advanced me on Tuesdays, which was first a challenge, now it's fun. It's fun. It's not as stressful. But I do a pre-cartoon vintage movie. I mean, cartoon before a movie. And what I like your idea is that it's unique and different, and that no one else is doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like doing those breaks like that. Even you also had suggested doing a subscribe. So I've been looking for some artwork to do a subscribe, to do a flash where it doesn't interfere with your viewing experience, but you can see a flash subscribe and a phase out. So I've been looking for that too. I have a lot of subscribe, stuff to use, but I'm just looking for that perfect one. I'm always looking at the one at the very bottom, like number 225,000, that no one else will want to go to. I'll find that and use that because no one else is using it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get what you're saying too. So I love your ideas, because see, you're the viewer. You're looking at it. So what you're thinking about, it's telling me what you want, and it's telling me what's appealing. So getting those ideas is just perfectly amazing. It's amazing. Make it feel like you're watching an old Western on basic TV. That's cool. I like that, because there is some public domain Westerns. So I have worked on a library of black movies. They call them race movies. They're black movies with just not black historical movies with your historical jazz singers back in the day, Cab Calloway, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. I found a gold mine, right? And then they have Westerns. And then they have horror. So I've been organizing them on my file, where I'm pairing them up, making sure I get something like some vintage juicy one, like what I did Saturday. I did like a 1925 salad movie that was HD, and it was restored 1925 salad movie of the lost world, quality, HD and restored. That's time, right? And colorized. The second one was a 1992 English, The Lost World. So I found those two movies that connect, like The Colossal Man. There's a part 1 and a part 2. There are some part 1s and part 2s. There's like 4 parts to some movies, but the second one is not public domain. But I might can get the first one and the last one. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of research, writing it down, writing my notes down, trying to find the perfect match, when I'm doing my research. Like you see here, I mean, Yeah, I handwrite. I mean, I could type it easier, but at the same time, I like things I like handwriting. Like when I do a short, I have a format, and I check it off and make sure all of that's included. Yeah, just in less than a 60-second short, I will work on that for a couple of days. Because just like I did the blob, I worked on the blob for like a week and a half, and I ended up getting 47,000 views. Because something I did, it was like my thumbnail. And I'm not saying I love all my thumbnails. I mean, I love my thumbnails. I work my ass off, and I find out that when I do thumbnails, no one has thumbnails like me. They have some good looking thumbnails, but I'm saying mine is so different. See, look at those notes. So I'm making notes and I'm writing it down, and I'm keeping up with these movies and I'm pairing them up and I'm trying to make very good very good movie choices that is entertaining. And even if there is someone who is clueless and never seen a movie before, because I do like posting movies people have never seen before. When I tell them the history that in one of the movies that it was the bell from hell, that the director jumped is on the church. It's like 4 stories high. That at the end of the movie, the day he completed producing the movie, they said he jumped and committed suicide on the day he completed it because he died. He committed suicide. It's like things, not that I'm finding that fascinating. I'm just saying a lot of people don't know that it's a big world behind the movies we see. Like actors and actresses. John Wayne got exposed to cancer. In Utah, it was Utah, when he was making a movie where they test nuclear weapons. Him and Susan Howard and other people got exposed to cancer by doing a movie out there on location. A lot of people don't know that. So it's like I like sharing that because what happens, even if the movies, people don't, maybe will say, I'm not going to like this. It's about cars. I'm not into that. It's about horror. I'm not. When they come to the movie and they find out the trivia and the facts and the plot, and I explain it more in detail, they're like, oh my God, this was great. Like there was one that's called there's one that called The Shrews, 1959, Killer Shrews, and the Giant Gila Monster, 1959. They were made same year by the same producer. Do you know that was made in Dallas, Texas, outside Dallas, Texas, on the lake? I know. I used to live outside of Dallas. I'm like, wow, Killer Shrews? Okay, and then Callie says, there's some weird stuff behind Eyes Wide Shut as well. Yeah, people like Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee. I played the movie last week. Not the movie he got killed on. There's another movie he got killed on, but there was a gun that was loaded. And he got shot by a gun. It's just mad. He died, right? 20-something years old. I think it was 28. Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. So it's things you go, wow, look at the backdrops of these movies and these people that gave up their life for the art. The Crow, oh my God, Heath Ledger, right? Is it Heath Ledger, The Crow? I don't know if I got that right. It's a lot of artists and actresses have given up their life for us to be entertained because they just want to be a movie star, not because they were going to be more respected. Maybe they appeared to live a life of wealth, but they really weren't, like Marilyn Monroe. Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, yes. Oh, Brandon Lee's in The Crow. Oh, yes, that's where he died. It's a lot of tidbits of things that I post, like facts and trivia and things. And people, they love it. They look at it and you get people sitting in the cut that I've never met, but you could see that and the numbers go up because they're watching it. Ledger was in Chris Nolan's, Batman. Okay. Heath Ledger. And it's just when you get to know history, about these movies, then you'll find out too why our politics is the way they are today. Yeah, Heath Ledger's Joker was mine too. The politics, like a lot of certain parties don't like Hollywood. Then you have a lot of people who opened up their own studios outside of Hollywood. You have a lot of silver screen actors and actresses who were abused, sexually assaulted. The what they call it, screen test, the screen couch facts. Yes, yes. It was beautiful movie. Movies like that I can't get. But your girl, I have been networking with a couple of people, artists who are good at the game. And I'm emailing and I've been trying to communicate with like a couple of sources. A source from a church where W.B. Du Bois, Dr. Martin Luther King, people like that preached at in Massachusetts. The point I'm mentioning that is because it's an old place where people that had speaking engagements. That means that they have a lot of rights to copyright material. So if somehow I can get in touch with someone big out there where they give me permission and help me have the copyright to some movies outside of what I have, which are good, then I could have more control over, I could have more control of people not attacking me and sabotaging me, hijacking my channel. So I'm networking with a couple of people who are big time content creators. So I'm not just, sitting on my thumbs. I'm truly reaching out to some other resources that can back me, that could give me more power, that could look at me as education, that I am making your company more money. Because either I'm promoting a movie that people have forgotten, or is it sitting on the shelf, and I'm promoting something where you can start making more revenue from it. You know what I'm saying? So I've been networking. I got a couple of feelers out there. Also, I've been talking to Disney. I got some feelers. I put those 3 weeks I didn't have a book reading. I put some formal letters together where I communicate professionally. And out of those 3 weeks, I've got one response, which was today. So I have to respond and to see how we can collab. There's a lot of people that have great YouTube pages and they're tired. So, they'll be like, well, hey, Rhonda, you can inherit this and you could take these movies and you'll have the right to use them. You see what I'm saying? So I've been doing some networking and so Caglione says, I'm trying to remember the name of this older VHS movie that was multiple videos long, and it was a pandemic and a crazy dude blew up one side with a nuke saying boom de boom. Oh, let's see. You could post that in Google and they'll find it for you. Let me see if I can find it. You could just put like name of movie. Boom de boom. Let's see what I can find. Let's see if it'll name that movie for me. Contagion? Is it Contagion? That's 2011. I'm not sure. I guess I can look it up and see if it's, no, older. Oh, okay. Let me put vintage movie. Vintage movie. Nadia Lista, 90s, I think maybe 80s. Hello, Nadia Lista. Oh, she's there. I'm so glad you're there, Nadia Lista. That's my sweetheart. I'm trying to see if... Let's put on here 1990s. Put on here 1990s, 1980s. I'm seeing if Bing can help me pull this up. Outbreak? Medical disaster movie, 1995. Outbreak? Morgan Freeman, Dustin Hoffman. That looks like a good movie. That's Stan. The Stand, maybe. Okay. Medical disaster. I know when I see people like Morgan Freeman, I don't give up. When I see it, I go, it's probably copyrighted, but I still check it, right? Because I've looked at on some newer movies that were not copyrighted. Like Psycho was copyrighted. I wanted that. Let's see. So the film Outbreak that I was talking about is not in the public domain. Yeah, because it shows you I was saying about the rules. If the date was between 1964 and 1977, then you need to pull up the movie and search the opening and end credits for the copyright notice. If the movie has a copyright notice, let me look up The Stand. Then it's copyrighted for 95 years. So I'm like, when I find a movie, I'm looking up all the compliance, language. Okay, The Stand. Here, let me look it up again. Let's see. The Stand, Stephen King. Is it public domain? I mean, you kind of think, well, anything Stephen King, he's not going to have it public domain, right? It's saying it's in the public domain. The Stand. Oh, okay. So it says, The Stand, written by Stephen King, is indeed in public domain. It was first published in 1978 by Doubleday. That's the book. Since it falls within the time frame of works published in the United States between 1978 and March 1989, without a copyright notice, it is considered public domain. This post-apocalyptic dark fantasy novel, says novel. Oh, the novel seems to be in public domain. Let's see. Stephen King, let's say film, miniseries, right? Hey, Jeff Lee. Thank you for popping in, Jeff Lee. You know I love you, my brother. Miniseries. Okay, let's see what shows up. So it says The Stand, Stephen King film miniseries. Sweet dreams to you, Jeff Lee. Thank you for your support. And thank you for your support in Mike's chat today. You are so loved. Thank you for helping me out and helping Lola out. He spoke up for us. Let me look up on here. The Stand, what year is that? 1994? 1994, The Stand. I gotta say, The Stand film. Yes, that might be what I'm thinking. I have to see. Hi, Coyote and Michael Dana. Okay, so The Stand, post-apocalyptic television miniseries based on the 1978. Okay, so it's a 1994. Let me, right now, let me cross-reference, because I've been doing Bing. Let me cross-reference into my sites, because I love that movie. Let's go into CATA. Search by keyword document name. Okay. Doing a cross-reference, see if I can find it. Copyright Records Reading Room. The Stand. Good night to you, sweet dreams. Sweet dreams, Jeff Lee. .gov. Okay, so publicrecords.copyright. Okay, I'm looking that up. I'm looking up under keyword, which is the name, The Stand. I'm pulling up the search results. It says, doesn't show it under here. It's not coming up as The Stand, which is good. I just always wondered why Stephen King didn't pay copyright on his works, right? I mean, don't you think that's strange? Yep, that is what I was thinking about. So I didn't see anything come up under there. It doesn't mean it's public domain, but I just have to cross-reference. catalog.loc.gov. Search for this, The Stand, title, reset. Really good, 6 hours. You could add commercial breaks in that. Oh yeah, I want to get a mini series so bad. I swear I do. There's one that y'all recommended. I shouldn't say swear, I'm sorry about that. But I love the Titanic triple. And I'd really like to at least have a triple at least once a month or whenever I could find some really good material. I don't see it coming up under copyright. The Stand, Stephen King, 1994. Do a movie called Zebrahead. Oh, I like that one. I like how that sounds. I'm writing down Zebrahead. Zebrahead. And that's by Novelista. First, I look under Wikipedia, but I just don't depend on Wikipedia when it comes to public domain accuracy. But it helps, right? So that's one of my resources. And if I don't see it on there, so it does. When I'm working on one movie, it takes me a lot of cross-referencing. It's not clear. It's not making it clear. But you would think kind of, you know, like I said, when I take my time and do some more searches. But I do a lot of cross-referencing. Then when I find that it works, then that's when I start scheduling the movie. Because then I have to scan it. After I search and find it, that is public domain, then I scan it in my YouTube movies on YouTube Upload and make sure that it's approved. If it's approved, then I use that. I don't build a movie and put all that into it and then try to scan it and it blocks, you know? So it's smart to go ahead and... The Stand, it's a TV miniseries based on Stephen King's novel. While I can't definitely confirm its public domain status, I recommend you checking other legal databases to verify its copyright status. So basically, it's probably up for not. But if I get in touch with someone, like get an approval through Stephen King, I go, hey, yo, Stephen, your girl, can I use your movies on my channel? And he goes, yeah. Wouldn't that be great? Oh my God. Then he'll send me something in writing that would protect me. because I'm a woman, I'm a small channel. Is that available and you play it? If that is available and you play it, I will watch. You talking about, ooh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. There's Outbreak that I liked, 1995. Probably can't, but. And then there's The Stand, 1994. I would try. I would try all the time. Yeah, The Stand, Stephen King, 1994. I did some cross-referencing. Honestly, it looks like, I mean, think about copyright, 1994. It falls into, it's not in public domain, even though it's not blatantly out there, but it's 1994. So what it says under my list. It's saying now if it's a foreign film. Okay, let's go down. The only exceptions are if the movies were made in a country that was 1996 not a signatory of the Berne Convention, the WIPO Treaty, or World Trade Organization member. I admit this can be super confusing. Oh, they're talking about Hong Kong movies and Chinese movies. It has to be 95 years before it's free for public domain. I have to look up the end credits if it's a certain year, if it's copyrighted within 5 years. It's like a whole lot of stipulations. Um, 1963. So yeah, and usually probably all movies after then. But again, I have been able to play some more current movies to schedule that, and I'm good. Like Laser Mission, like The Hitchhiker, which is playing tomorrow. That's public domain. 1953, very good movie. It's been, of course, it hadn't been 95, 100 years, but I could still play it because they didn't pay the copyright, you see? So, Superman, the Arctic Giant, the Amazing Arctic Giant, that's public domain. The Amazing Mr. X is public domain. That's scheduled on my YouTube. So the Killer Shrews, the Giant Gila Monster. So yeah, there's a lot that's public domain that I just say, well, for the experience, I kind of said, well, I've kind of thought to myself, if they have it on YouTube, but some get away and some don't, I would make sure, oh yeah, it's a lot of them on YouTube. I know. I see them all. It's because they probably haven't been blocked yet. They haven't been found. Number two, they haven't been reported by somebody. Number three, they own the copyright because there's companies out there. For example, if I paid somebody $5,000 to $10,000 a month, they could help me get my YouTube channel up, and they can help me get some copyrights. But I have to invest a lot of money in it. And your girl don't have that kind of money to buy people's copyrights. You know what I'm saying? So the money's not there. But there's bigger companies that are running these YouTube channels that have the legal rights to these movies. And our partnerships, it could be Disney, for example. And Disney can have like 4 companies out there, 4 YouTube channels that they own. So they separate, certain movies, they separate it. And they give them permission, but they own the companies. Is why sometimes you might see YouTube playing them. So I get to the point where I'm like, if I can't get these movies, I don't want to put myself in a position where I end up losing my channel, because my channel is about movies. It's about nostalgia. It's about me going live. It's about friendly politics. It's about poetry. It's about singing. It's about book reading. It's about trending topics. You know what I'm saying? So my channel, where I have probably a lot of people intimidated, is that people have movie channels and that's all they're doing. Well, that's good for them. I have a more diverse channel, and they've been around 10 years. You know, if they got a lot of people and they've been around for a long time, and they're making a lot of money, and probably they are the sister to, probably it's the uncle of MGM, probably it's his grandson that owns MGM, that has that YouTube channel where he's able to play those movies. You see? So my husband and I talked about it, and he said, don't get down about it, just play movies, and that when people come, they come for the experience, right? You enjoy it, you come for the engaging conversation, the friendship, and you come for just being together. You know what I'm saying? And then also watch something pretty cool, like how they had still motion, how they made still motion pictures. The first man in 1925, The Lost World, 1925, a silent movie. He was the first man that did still motion. You know, that's with the dinosaurs and was that the older King Kongs and Godzilla, still motion. There's a famous man out there that taught that was a teacher for the other famous guy that does still motion, that taught my husband, because my husband is an artist as well. So he hasn't done the art in a while. I'm trying to get him back in doing it, but he's an artist. And so the still motion, you know, you end up learning that all these people today, like Cheryl Ladd, her father was Alan Ladd. Like Drew Barrymore, her father was a silent screen, silent movie famous actor, the Barrymore. So, you know, it's something to really love and enjoy, you know, something different than a lot of the stuff today that is so mechanical and so probably not as real. You know, you had people like Lloyd, what's his name, that did his own, you know, he would climb, he'd always, you know, climb in New York on the New York buildings, Lloyd something. And he was amazing, you know, those movies are out there, silent movies. So I'm trying to pair them up, research and find the best ones. I found some Hell's Bells, which is the Bell of Hell, 1970, was a good horror. I ended up playing it twice, as a matter of fact. I had an encore of it. And just really finding the good in every film. You know what I'm saying? Finding the good in all these gems, these diamonds that's sitting out there. You know, so we're good. We're going to be fine. If I don't get them, then I just send, you know, what's been blocked or something. You know, I'll send it to you and let you know. But I'll be trying. I have a long list. Trying. Well, everyone, I enjoyed you all. I did not plan to be on here at 1 hour, 82 minutes. What's hour 82? That's like 2 hours and something. I've been live. I'm really happy to go live, and I haven't planned it. It's exciting. My battery's going down too. I hear this beeping going off. Thank you for the movie recommendations. I will also go back tomorrow and check out the replay and then write down your recommendations. You all can also check the replay, and I do have chat replay approved, where you can go back and look at the chat and look at some things that you probably said or whatever in reference to, and you know, look up those movies, check it out. 2.5 hours. Oh wow, 2.5 hours. It's like I don't go live unless I can do a minimal 2.5 hours, 3 hours. You know, because it's who would ever thought, you know, I'd come up with that much material. It's just, and you know, when we talk about movies, that's a never-ending conversation. You just don't run out of material. When you talk about movies, when you talk about politics, when you talk about recommendations, I looked up your movies. I'll continue doing some more research on The Stand. I'm thinking I can't get it. I could probably upload it, but it would be illegal, and then I'll get a strike. Then The Outbreak, 1995. Y'all come up with some more. Holla at your girl. Send me an email. Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. And then let me know that you subscribe so I can mark you off my list and I don't have to keep begging you. Like, please, 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 please. Love you. Thank you so much, Michael Dana. Have a good night, Rhonda in chat. Thank you. Thank you, Coyote, for your input. Love the friendly politics. Hello, Najalista. Love you. Thank you for being here. I'll check out your movie too. your movie in here, which is called Zebra Head. I'll check that out. And also, Lola, hello, my Lola hot sauce. Shout out to Eastside Harold and Jeff Lee popped his head in and popped out. Hello for your support and like before you leave. And I'll be back again. I'll be back to see you soon. Good night.